What up, though, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Chopping It Up with Uncle Chon True Stories. I'm Uncle Chon. First thing I'd like to do is wish everybody a happy new year. Have a happy, blessed year, everyone. This story, today's story, is set in Detroit, Michigan in the mid 90s. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the year was 95 or 96. I think it was 96. Um, it was Thanksgiving Day, and I had already done my family thing with Thanksgiving. We had the dinner early, and later on that evening, I hook up with my homeboy at the time, Mo. And Mo had this uncle named Earl. Now, Uncle Earl was a pretty cool old dude. He's one of those old retired plant dudes. Had his nice little crib out in Southfield and, was chilling. And he liked to smoke a little bit every now and then, smoke a little weed. So Mo would usually get me to go and supply that for him. Go grab it up and take it over there to Uncle Earl. So we would go over to Uncle Earl's house from time to time, and I would sell him a little weed, and we would roll up a few and smoke and listen to Uncle Earl tell us stories. So this particular Thanksgiving, Uncle Earl had put in a request for a little something, something. So me and Mo rolled by there, and Uncle Earl and his wife were having a little Thanksgiving get together, but it was kind of winding down. So there was only a few people left there. One of the people who was left there was Uncle Earl's sister-in-law, his wife's sister, this lady named V. Now, V was an older lady to me because I was about, at the time, like 25. This lady was like 42. Okay. And I've always kind of liked older women. And she was a nice looking older lady. And she started kind of flirting with me, or whatever. So um, people people started kind of, Uncle Earl, would give him the side eye, or whatever, like, so I kind of like, how you kind of just keep it at a certain level as to not draw so much attention or whatnot. So she ends up, before she gets ready to leave, she ends up slipping me her number. Okay. So I get this lady's number or whatever. I didn't ask her for it. She slipped it to me. So I get this lady's number or whatever, and I might have called her a couple days later. And I ended up telling Mo that, you know, the V had slipped me the number. So he starts saying like, "Oh, man, she's a little clingy. She's, a little bit much, man. I know she kind of nice looking." He's like, "Man, but she's the reason why she ain't got no man, at her age or whatever. She's a trip, you know." So basically, he was telling me she crazy. Okay, so uh, he tells Uncle Earl that I got V's number. So Uncle Earl calls us over uh, like a week and a half later or so, you know, and it's like the next weekend, and we go over there, and I give Uncle Earl his weed or whatever, and we sitting up in there like usual, just chopping it up, and next thing you know, Uncle Earl starts talking about V, yeah, that bitch crazy, he starts telling me all this crazy stuff, and yeah, man, you better be careful. You gonna mess around with that, cause she crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know, so usually now if it was now and somebody told me that, I would take heed and I would not deal with them, because I can believe when people tell me about people that I don't know. But back then, when you're young, all you're doing is thinking with your thangalang. So, you ain't, all I'm thinking is, oh, she crazy, huh? Okay, I'm on that tip right there. So, uh, I talked to her on the phone a couple times. Now, her job, she was an airline stewardess, which even was a little even more intriguing to me. Okay, and she wasn't. She was out of town, like most of the week or whatever. So I found that to be good too. I was like, well, she'd be out of town, and I ain't got to worry about that. I got this whole setup in my mind, right? So I've been warned twice. Don't fool with her. She crazy. Okay. So me and her, we decided to go out on a date on either a Friday or a Saturday. I think it was on a Friday. Okay. And where I was living at the time, it was a little hard to get to if you wasn't familiar with the area. So usually when I would tell people where I lived, they try, they might have to stop and call me and be like, okay, I'm at such and such. It was not easy to get to if you didn't know. Once you knew, you knew. But I should have known something when she got to my crib with no problem. That Now my plan was, okay, we were supposed to go to a dinner and a movie, okay, and it was it was like it was one of those days where it was supposed to be like a snowstorm the next day. So it had started like kind of sleeting that day. So the weather was a little nasty, it was a little cold. My plan was for her to come over, and I would come outside when she pulls up, and we would get into my car and we would roll out to dinner and then go to the movie. Okay. But I don't know what it is about women. I don't know what it is. When you don't want them to necessarily come in your house, they always find an excuse to have to come in. Okay. So she pulls up and she was showing me her new car. She had just got a new car. I ain't gonna, it was a Corsica. She had just got a new Corsica. Okay. I think that was a Chevy. I think it was Chevy anyway. And I had just got a new car. I had just got a Pontiac Grand Prix. Okay. So we both had new cars. Okay. Good, all well and fine. So when she pulls up, I'm trying to get her into my car so we can go or whatever. So she, I need to use the bathroom, and I need to make a call and check on my flight for tomorrow or whatever. So I'm like, damn. So, because I really didn't, want her to come in the house and, whatever. I just didn't. So I got to let her in the house now. So now she goes in the house. I show her to the bathroom. She goes to the bathroom, and then she's like, can I use your phone? I need to call in and check on my flight for tomorrow. So she goes and she gets the phone and she calls into her work number, and she's on the phone like 45 minutes dealing with this. So now I'm getting pissed. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I'm already like ready for her to go, really. To be honest, I was. I just don't like that. That's just me, So she finally finishes, and she's like, okay, and I guess she's looking at my face, and she's like, what? You don't like my outfit, or I look different than I did before? She's coming. I'm like, no, everything cool, everything cool. So we go out and we get in the car, okay. So we start driving to the restaurant. Now we're going to Applebee's, right? That's where we go. We're going to Applebee's. All right. So we start driving towards the restaurant, and she starts messing with buttons and knobs in my car, messing with the heat, messing with the radio. And I'm like, hey, I said it just like this. I was like, hey, excuse me. I was like, don't touch anything. I was like, if you want me to turn the heat or something or the radio, just ask and I'll do it. And she just bust out crying. Oh, oh, you mad at me? Oh, oh, you don't like me? Oh, I swear. She just bust out crying like that. Just bust out loud. Oh, and I'm driving. I'm like, what the fuck? What? You know, and so I start apologizing. Oh, I'm sorry. I ain't mean, whatever. Oh, and then she stops crying, and then she like damn near climbs, because like she's over in the passenger seat, and then there's like a console in between. So, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And then she tries to climb like over into my seat, and she's all hugging on me and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying? So, I'm like, oh man, I'm in trouble. So we finally, get to the Applebee's. Okay. So we get to Applebee's and we go in, and there's like maybe a 10-minute wait, and we get took to the table, we get seated and everything, and we sitting in there, and the waitress comes over and she asked, for our drink order and appetizer or whatever. So I order a Coke, okay, and I order some buffalo wings, and she orders a glass of wine and a quesadilla as an appetizer. So I'm like, okay. So we're sitting there and we just kind of chit chatting and whatnot, and they bring the drinks first, okay, and they set my Coke down and they set her wine down. Okay, I take the straw out and I put the straw in my glass, and by the time I take my first sip, she done threw this wine back like bow, like throws it back like it was a shot. I'm like, oh shit, okay, I'm in trouble. I knew I was in trouble. I knew I was in trouble. So then they bring the appetizers, okay? And then they ask her, would she like a glass of water or something else to drink? She wants another glass of wine. I'm like, oh shit. So they leave, and I start eating my buffalo wings, and I swear this chick doesn't even look at her food. She reaches over and grabs one of my wings. Oh, let me taste one of your wings, and just picks it up and I'm looking at her. Now, I don't even like, if you my girlfriend, I don't like you eating off my plate. Order what you want, and I'll order what I want. If you want quesadilla and a buffalo wings, order that. Don't reach on my plate and get my food, because I ordered what the hell I wanted. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, don't be reaching on my plate. What'd I say that for? She bust out crying again. Oh, 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 you mad at me? Oh, I've offended you. Oh, I'm so sorry. Just like that. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, I might have to leave her here. Okay, so as she's crying, the waiter comes over and puts down another glass of wine in front of her. In the middle of her crying, oh, she picks up that wine, a bow, throws it back like it's another shot. A whole glass of wine, look, down the hatch, gone. I'm like, oh my God. So I start trying to calm her down, apologize. Look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God. Oh God, I got to get rid of her. Now I'm starting to get a headache. Okay. So then they take our food order. I ordered like a hamburger. I don't even remember what she ordered. All I know was I'm ready to go. and I'm ready to take her wherever the hell she need to go, back to her car. So she orders another glass of wine. Glass number 3. None of those glasses of wine lasted more than 20 seconds. They bought the third one. Now I'm thinking, okay, you didn't threw back 2 glasses of wine. Surely she's gonna save this one and drink it with a dinner and sip on it or whatever. Let me tell you something. They bought the food and her wine at the same time. Once again, she didn't even look at the food. She picked up that wine and she throwed it back. Bow! I was like, I'm dead. I'm dead. It's over for me. It's over. It's over. So somehow we made it through dinner. And I'm trying to think of any excuse I can give her to ask to not go to the movies. But okay, I can't wait to go to the movies and blah, 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 blah. And we were supposed to go see, I forgot what we were supposed to go see. It was a movie we had discussed about going to see. Now at this time, we had it was relatively new at the time, the Southfield Star Theater. It was like the top of the line theater, had all this nice, fancy shit. We walk in there and this woman is acting like she ain't never, now this is a stewardess who's traveled, I'm guessing at least all over the country, if not the world. She walks in and acts like she ain't never seen nothing or been nowhere in her whole freaking life. Oh, look at this. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, just like that. Loud as hell. Acting, I was like, oh my God. But as she's pointing up, I look up at the little board that's got the movies on there, and the movie that we were going to see was sold out. Sold out. And it was the last one. I got out of it. Thank you, Lord. I was like, the movie sold out. And she was like, oh no. Talking about, no, the movie sold out. Oh no. I'm like, oh Lord. So I was like, she's like, you want to see something else? I was like, no, ain't nothing else up there. I don't really want to see nothing else up there. And if it was, I would have still said I didn't want to see nothing else up there. I did not want to see nothing else up there. So I'm like, she's like, okay, well, we could just go back to your place. Okay. So I'm like, okay. So we go out and we get in the car. And this woman is grabbing, touching, feeling, hugging, I can't even drive. She's all over me like a cheap suit. And I'm like trying not to elbow her or nothing. Oh, hey, baby, we gonna go over to your place. And she's like, I got a flight out in the morning at 8 a.m. She's like, I could just stay at your place tonight and I could just leave from your, and I'm like, oh, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. Why not? I was like, oh no, I can't have no overnight company. I got a roommate and we agreed no overnight company. I made up some bullshit. And we're driving and she's, why can't I stay tonight? Well, I'll just come in and and I'm like, no. So we get to my house and I cannot let this woman come in because I know that if I go in, we might do something and I could feel it. I was so irritated. I didn't want none no more. I didn't want nothing. I just wanted to be rid of her. And then she starts telling me that, I drank all that wine. I'm tipsy. I can't drive. And I'm like, look, you can't come into my house. I just laid it on the line. I was like, no, I'm sorry. It's like, and she starts crying again. And I'm like, look, we pull up and we sitting in the car and I'm talking to her and I'm trying to tell her, look, maybe next time. I was like, but no, you can't do it. I was like, plus I got to get up early. You got to get up early. It's just no, no. And I just made every excuse in the book. And she finally decides to leave after about an hour of sitting outside in the cold and me trying to coax her to leave. I'm gonna have to make this a part two because there's a little bit more that goes on with this. So if you want to hear the rest of this story, tune in for part two of Crazy V. Thank you.